Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and don't be put off by the notation on the screen in front of you because today we'll be talking about MIDI files, standard MIDI files, .mid. Um, Standard MIDI files have been around forever, and they're easily importable into any DAW. And it's a way of analyzing classical music that just kind of like is an end run to notation. And notation can be a headache for a lot of people. These Bach chorales that I use for my own study are all available for our own study in the DAW. So let's talk today about how to do that. So last week we looked at my favorite page, and this is the first one from it. Herzliebster Jesu, hast du? I think it's verboten. Holy Jesus, how have you offended? I think is the translation or something like that. In any case, we're in G minor. And if I play the first, measure or the pickup measure there, you can see that my computer correctly analyzes it as a G minor chord. And this is such a beautiful piece of music. Wouldn't we really like to know what's going on? Well, I could easily just play these notes in and look down below and see what my computer is saying, right? There's a lot of suspensions though, right? It's interesting, and we want to sort of understand how all of these things are contributing to the overall effect. It's hard to talk and play at the same time. The best way to do that is to do it either very, very slowly, as I'm doing it now because you can play, or to grab these notes and drag them in. Okay, we're going to say goodbye to this. And I'm going to pop over here, and I've got a bookmark for these Bach chorales. All of these are standard MIDI files from St. Matthew's Passion. There's the chorale I was just playing. And there are so many others. Now, you may be, it might be a crapshoot for you. You might not know all these. I certainly don't know all of them. But it's kind of like they're all worth looking at. And of course, there's these wonderful pieces from every other composer available as standard MIDI files as well. I will say that it can be a bit of a crapshoot with standard MIDI files. Some of the sites are a bit sketchy, and you might get launched into a Reddit page where you'll have to deal with conspiracy theories. But in any case, once I download the file, and here it is, it's just a .midi file way over in the corner, I'm going to just drag it over and drop it into bar 1, beat 1, and I'm going to import the tempo information. And when I do, this is what it looks like. I've got 4 different channels, and my DAW has arbitrarily assigned instruments. I think it's arbitrary. Oh, God. And I know it's going to sound horrible. I just know it is. I need to change the tempo. So let's just take a look at what the tempo currently is. 96. I'm just going to drop it down. Well, there are the notes of the piece that I just played. And if we listen to it, it's going to be hash, but let's listen anyway. Shades of Wendy Carlos. I feel like I'm being swept back into the 70s. What I like to do in a situation like this is actually create new tracks and just drag those in. So I'm going to quickly do it. Here's my piano track that I was playing on before. I'm just going to create 4 new tracks. And pan them just a tiny bit just to make my life a little bit easier. And I'm also going to color code them because I think it would be really nice to be able to distinguish individual voices because, of course, in Bach's music particularly, those individual voices are a big part of kind of what makes it so lovely. So now when I select all of the regions, I can see kind of, we've seen demos from me like this before. And here we go. Lovely, right? Now, if I just ask this to scroll and play, it'll be a little bit easier for us to follow it. It's not what I would call an emotional performance, but I get to really just zoom in and take a look and see what's going on. Just as a matter of curiosity, we'll just take one example here. I've just made it a little bit easier for us by displaying the note labels on each of these tones. So let's take a look at these two beats. As I said, I've got a G, a B, and a D. It's a G chord. That E is a suspension. What happens next? A, there's an A going down to a G, and a C sharp, and the E continues. If I add up all of these notes, it's A7. A7 is the 5 of D. F sharp, A, D. And you can actually hear it happen. This G in the bass, this is almost like an E minor 7, isn't it, if you think about it? Did you hear it? 2, 5, 1 to D? I certainly did. E minor, A7, D. And then we go on to B minor. Look at that beautiful descending bass. And the fact is, this is one of my favorite chorales, and it is because of the beautiful use of suspensions, prepared dissonances. And it would be very, very difficult to parse all these if you were listening to, say, someone's performance of it, but it's not so hard otherwise. Well, listen. Let's do this. Let's just get rid of the tempo information completely, and we'll slow it way, way down. Now that I've slowed it down and spread it out a little bit more, it'll be even easier to analyze. If something catches my ear, I can stop and pick it apart. And there's something really terrific about just the graphic nature of the edit window as well. For those of us who read music comfortably, we experience the same kind of thing. But for people who aren't readers, but who've done a lot of work in the piano edit roll and things like that, you're used to seeing this kind of thing. You're used to seeing this kind of bass line and the way chords work together. And this is just a great way to kind of like integrate what you kind of know already into the broader context of, Western standard practice. It's a great way to learn. And we could do this with almost, anything, right? We could do it with anything. That is to say, we could do it with Bach or Mozart or Beethoven. Really, why not, right? And now just to roll over Beethoven a little bit, put a beat to it. Listen, I hope this was useful. Like and subscribe and ding the bell so you'll get notified when I do my videos. Let me know if you've ever tried standard MIDI files as a way of learning about what the greats did in their own work. Hey, I'll see you next time.